We have the last one. Collect the Chants of Norvik by Patriarch Pili. This is a printed edition of Pili's work, but still old, probably came from the earliest Norwegian printers. On the first page, a short message is hand-scribbled in the corner. My belief lay in the collected humanity of Norvik. May you remember that from this collection, with honor and grace, Pili D. Is this a handwritten message from the second Patriarch himself? You feel faint. Are you even able to hold such an artifact? Fascinating. To think that pale man held such a treasure on his shelf. Alright, let's read the foreword. A dream of unity under oath. The book begins with a lengthy essay about the foundation of the Norwegian cultural values. It's really like a guide, if anything, on what a Norwegian person is, how their values come from various tribes in the old country, and how together they have formed something greater under earth. To give away the old and embrace the new. It is not a completely bad move. To unite a folk is to build commonality, to lower inequality, although of course there were many direct ways the state at the time made sure that the old did not remain in the shadows, violence and oppression at times. The text directly explains how a new Norwegian culture will help the city grow and fight against inequality and injustice through unity, mainly by being generous and not hoarding wealth, among other things. Then finally, it does touch upon the connection with dwarves as well, and how the Norwegian spirit is not contained within humans only. It's not just blood, it is sweat and tears as well. Those folk who unite with us will not be seen as an other. No, they too are Earth's folk. They too are Earth's guard. It's a long ass forward. Yeah, it's like 5 pages. All men likes to ramble. Read Eternal's Lament. I went with you to his foreign shores, my lord, my guard. I pray you keep from harm the beasts each shard, a proof of your devotion. Thus I give myself to your folk. I give my life for a home for at the river, in that sliver of land, to vanquish the beast who roam the evil, who lure the fire that burn. To build a life along the river. Every shepherd knows the song, it bellows up the rivers. Earth lives in that sliver of land. Right, close the book. This is a really great book. It is. Okay. This book does not deserve a toxic presence. If you were stronger, more capable, then perhaps you could have carried that weight. What? You really want the book. One day it could be yours. This is very confusing. I'm just putting back the book. Let us forget this for now. Alright. Alright, let's leave the book alone. And then we have this stuff. Alright, that covers it. Let's talk with him. Wait, can I take this? Oh, is that a pocket watch? Nice. Let's see if I can... Perfect. I don't want to use the book. It's just giving me -3 intelligence. Oh, we can examine that. Okay. You pick up the surprisingly thick piece of paper with shaking hand. This is your future. The card is slightly torn and has clearly been drenched at some point. At the top says Rostkort in big bold lettering. Rostkort means voting card in fancy Askani Dwarven. 5 days remaining. Alright. Alright, there's an election. It was nice to not think about it for once. I should just get a God King again. Okay. It's time for a damn revolution. We'll bring it all down and build it up again. Not too hard, someone could get hurt. Right, so how does this thing work? After you pick it up at district office, you only need to check the box of one of the 5 parties. Then you deliver it on election day to a polling place. Although in your case, you would you need to write the name of the party you want in the corner, along with the signature. since you have filled out every box like an idiot. This is your one vote. You should indeed take care of it. Alright, look at the list of the parties. Party of Norvik. The Inheritance of Earth Will, a theocratic organization founded to uphold the old ways, headed by the magistrates and 20-something noble families. Free Strider, Revolutionary Party. Free Strider, the new way. People in the East have overthrown the old wizards and gods. For years, the revolution has slowly crept into the city. Now it's time to finally join the free cities and get rich. Asgalist, Workers' Party. Asgard is the workers who built this city, want to rule it. Seems only just. Their vision is of a fair and even society where those who live underneath rise up to show their worth. After all, why can't we share? An Agrarian Rural Party. I didn't know there's this one as well. Agrarian, those who live of the earth. Simple farmers, people of the land. The common clay of Ascani fields. Their political movement has mostly been swallowed by the Icegalist. Party of Magic sounds like a hoot. And finally, the last box doesn't say anything. This is where you can input whatever you want or just leave it empty for a null vote. The box next to each party is filled with a smudged checkmark, including the last empty one. Smart move. No one can get mad if you vote for every party. And so are these all parties? No. There are about a dozen other large parties in Norvik. Most have been subsumed over the last few years, such as the Civic League of Progressiveness, the Torch Union, Order of the Scales, Hedonist Party, ooh, that would be a nice one to vote for, and the various guild parties. The Agrarians or Arcanists are the only ones who have not joined a larger party or fallen aside. Alright. Can I examine anything else? Not really. Okay, and then we have a questing tree. Let's take a look at this one. So here's a tea shop, okay. We have a class conflict. Phoenix folio. Okay, we need to fix our 300 pieces. Okay. And a vote. Okay. So we are a bit a cleric, very much as Asgardist. Okay, let's talk with him. Actually, first look at him. Oh. Doesn't do anything. Alright, let's engage. Visken, local mortician. The pale man sits hunched over a stack of forms. Busy at work, his pencil slowly filling out line after line. On the top paper, you see an icon of a serpentine drake. That symbol, it's on a lot of official documents in the city. Up and about, are we? Wonderful. Deaf. This is Deaf. I'm Visken, local entrepreneur and proprietor of the Sledge House. It appears you don't really belong here, but if there is anything I can do, cleric, just let me know. He smiles at you. Yet his eyes say something else, and his voice is familiar to you. Bow before this creature. His smile causes you to stir a deep feeling of unease, as if it's almost there, but not just quite. Right, look around the room. Dimly lit and damp, a musky stench lingering in the air. You see books and flasks and stone altars around the circular chamber. There are several corpses present. Alright, I woke up below. Yes, I know. Maybe you should ask why instead of stating the obvious. Right. Why? He puts down his pen. I'm afraid to say you've been through quite a turmoil, cleric. Okay, I died, didn't I? Those fishermen who brought you here certainly thought so. Eyes of the working men do not deceive. Not that I blame them, you weren't exactly in prime condition. Prime condition? You've always in your prime condition. You never are. Alright. They caught you in their net, believe it or not. Such a strange tale. So not dead, just a bit wet. Right? So how'd I end up in the river? I'm afraid I don't have much to tell. Perhaps you fell off one of the bridges to the Tolstad. There are 7 bridges over the River Tornak connecting Tolstad to the rest of the city. Sounds like the start of a great drinking story that I woke up in the Lich House tale. You don't have a lot of those, so that's good. Alright. Perhaps there's an esoteric explanation to all of this. Perhaps you know, cleric. So, who are the fishermen? River guilders, I believe. They did not look like poachers, so my guess would be that. Find them. They hold the truth. Okay, where can I find them? He ponders your question. I did not ask your for names, sorry to say. But perhaps Waterlane? That's just a guess. Good guess. Lots of boaters hang out there. Either that or the local tavern. Hope you find them. So I am in fact alive. And Phelan stops for a moment. He looks you up and down. Yes, I believe you are. Alive, once dead. Okay, yeah, I have some other questions. Do you now? Minus 2 DC, there's zombie downstairs. Let's try. Although 31 DC, we can't do that. It's a godlike. Unless we would do a nat 20, if that's a thing in this game. Otherwise, impossible. I require assistance with some things. There's a zombie in your basement. Oh, how quaint. That's not an appropriate response. Sure, why is it there? We're closely connected with the city below. The undead seemingly wander as they please. City below is short for the city below the city, a phrase used to describe the incredible amount of tunnels and ruins below Norvik. Lots of monsters and stuff down there, also riches if you delve deep enough. The city below the city, the vast ruins found underneath Norvik, okay? Most define it as a part of the city not yet civilized, although there is a legal definition set in place for each individual district. However, I will have to take this up with Lady Sageleaf. I pay good crowns for HWBT protection. HWBT, the Halfway Bridge tribe, commonly called the Halfways. One of the 3 goblin tribes in Norvik, and arguably the most influential, despite their small size, led by Lady Miska Sageleaf, with their headquarters in the Goblin Garden on Tolstad. Goblin Garden, a dwarven-built citadel sitting in the southernmost tip of Tolstad. It is now a goblin sanctuary and greenhouse. Short and green, got claws and fangs, little monsters. We've got 3 tribes in Norwich and are considered somewhat civilized. He's lying through his fancy teeth, alright? Wait, no, I don't actually believe you. What do you mean, cleric? You're criminal harboring zombie workers. You need to be punished. Prepare to attack. There's no way I could win the fight. The zombie is clearly working for you. That is illegal. I greatly apologize for putting you in this situation. It is my neglect that led to this undead creature entering the tower. I'll make sure to tighten up the security in the future. This isn't Ost. We'll do a clean sweep of the basement this evening. Get ready. The kobold gives this creature a yell. Yes, master. I'll also make sure to report this both to both the HWBT and the militia. He won't let you get a word in. Amazing. You're clearly doing something shady here, so of course I'll be sure to ask a thorough inspection by the PCG, the Pest Control Guild. One of the oldest guilds in Norway. They are supposed to keep monsters at bay and clean up the unwanted creatures across the city. These days, they are so bogged down in requests from citizens and the city that they usually have backlogs for months. If there's anything unbecoming about my business here, it shall become uncovered and unveiled. Thank you very much for your service, cleric. It is because of great men like you that the city still stands. I'm sure a good word to your patriarch will assure a promotion of some kind as well, especially with this great work you're doing on the tea shop. He is going circles around you. It's time to step in, argue, okay. Charisma DC 15. It's going to be hard. I will have +3, so maybe? Come on. Hell yeah. Focus on the main point. Illegal zombie. Go. Stop. I know what you're doing. The bailman opens his mouth to respond. The zombie did work on your property. He closes his mouth and looks at you. It was picking up apples or something. That's a violation of the bone purge. Yes, I am aware. The bailman takes a deep breath. He reaches below into his desk and brings forth a pouch. An isolated incident. It will not be repeated. Okay. He hands it to you. This feels like a bribe. Score. Crowns. As a city cleric, you obviously have the ability to accept a Dagsbotter on behalf of the Norvik. Dagsbotter, a dwarven for day fine. Some might call it illegal extortion, but it really depends on the district. Violation of the Bone Purge Code, Article 4. In singular violation cases, a Dagsbotter of a minor class is issued. In relation to my status as a Tolstad business owner, there would be precisely 25 crowns. Ah, he's dealt with this before, huh? Now, that this issue is behind us. Anything else you need? Yeah, I still actually can't do this one. I require assistance with some things. Of course, cleric. Anything for the city. Okay, I don't know where to go. Your shaky voice makes you sound positively forthwithout. Complete and utter despair of flesh and bone. I don't mean to tell you what to do, cleric, but there's a certain rumor that our local goblin chieftain is waiting for you. Lady Miska Sageleaf is her name. She is down in Goblin Garden. Of course, you've heard of her. Lady Sageleaf is quite famous. The name is spoken in both reverence and fear. Yeah, but you don't want to fuck with that one. Okay, they call her Dragon of Tolstad. Alright. I'm not afraid of. The goblins live in a garden. Well, not quite. You'll see when you get there. And when you do, make sure you pay your respect. Lady Sageleaf is a powerful ally. I would even go as far as to call her de facto lawkeeper here on this island fortress. Okay. A sliver of genuine tone slips out. He has great respect for this dragon. You may find her at the southern tip of Tolstad, the pale man says, keeps scribbling on his paper in front of you. He does not value your time. Alright. You call me cleric. I did, yes. Because you are a cleric, don't make an ass out of yourself. Why do I have to be anything? The Fainland shrugs. I suppose labels are constricting. But we are all something, aren't we? I'm not a cleric, no way. Interesting. What are you then? Sexy rogue, hero, wizard. Okay, I am a cleric. I don't like any of these other options anyway. Good for you. An example of the sarcasm thing mentioned before. Though I would love to ask, what type of cleric are you? Type. Yes, if you are a clergyman, you might run a congregation for a local religion or deity. And there are clerics of the bureaucratic variety, city officials speaking for the religious state. Rules are meant to be broken. You are not some stiff councilman. You, however, must be the arcane cleric. Boring bureaucrat. I am the chosen one. Balin stops and ponders your response. Chosen for what? To die. Been there, done that. Really? Good luck with that. Do you know anything about spellcasting? Quite a bit. He seems wary on the subject. My prayer book is ruined. Yes, I noticed. You should speak with Shen down on the Waterlane View, a bookbinder. It will cost you, but he could fix it right up. As a cleric, you obviously only need your faith to cast spells, but I'm sure a spellbook won't hurt in the long run. Can you teach me magic? A slight smirk creeps onto his face. I sadly don't have time for a proper lecture at the moment. After the election I could make time, if you're interested. Beware, his tutelage holds great evil. Until then, you are free to browse my collection, he says, glancing at the many books alongside the western wall. And of course, here. A copy of A Charmed Person. It will surely be useful to you. A truly diabolical spell. The towers teach it only to higher tier spellcasters usually, despite its first level. That's a great shortcut to charming people, although you gotta be careful with the fallout, if you care about such things, alright? Can you explain the very basics of spellcrafting? Oh, I mean of course. He wonders if your head is still filled with water. As a wizard, you memorize your spells before casting them. As an arcane cleric, you must memorize your spells during prayer at a shrine. There's one downstairs by the apples. Okay, where can I find more shrines? There is a Temple of Earth, of course. It's just up the stairs, past the pillar. You've heard the Tulsa Temple will act as a polling place for the district on the election day. There's also a one on the Waterlane view, I believe past the trade post. You'll find more hidden around every corner, I can promise you that. Alright, how do I get more spells? Two ways. You could spend a time learning them drafting pages out of the palace archives. An official nickname for the current rulers of Norvik, named after the palace district, in which most central authorities reside. Or the Great Library in the Towers, since you obviously would have some access to that. However, I don't believe you have time for either of these options. So I would suggest the other route. What's that? Spell scrolls. Right? Right, scrolls with spells on them. Indeed. Now, Tulsa fills with all kinds of strange catches, so you will probably encounter more by just looking around. If you get your hands on a scroll, then just memorize it. Cantrips or spells, doesn't matter. I'm sure you are talented enough to memorize them on the spot. Alright, sure, thanks. He nods and goes back to writing. Alright, if you want to practice, feel free to cast anything non-lethal on my servant Ost. Wow, that's evil. Can I try casting on you instead? He stares at you. A glare. Waste of space slot, I'm afraid. You believe him. He does not wish to elaborate further. Ominous. What the hell is this guy? Who the hell is this guy? Danger. Alright, that will help. That's all the help I need, thanks. Alright, I'm going to go now. Before you do, make sure to collect all your belongings. Okay, did I have any weapons on me? None, I'm afraid. They must be at the bottom of the River Torna. Good. You do not need arms in this city. You need heart. Oh, shut up. A good blade can make anyone speak. Alright. What belongings? Quite a lot. Your uniform, your cloak, and also a voting card. I have a clear voting card. Every party had been marked on it. I'm assuming it's yours. Maybe, possibly. The payman ignores your comment. I ask us to lay the surviving pages on the spellbook of your spellbook to dry. Over there. Okay? Yeah, I know, I already took it. And then looks over the corner of his desk, where you took the pocket watch. Good. The esoteric pocket watch is very useful, cleric. Make sure to keep it close. Okay, an area overtaken by esoteric magic, exceedingly rare along the coast. The further inland you get, the more common they are, with the infinite waste being theorized to be filled with nothing but. Okay, esoteric magic term for naturally occurring magic caused by the shape and form of yours realm. Something called wild magic or yours discord. Inland, okay. Yeah. Beyond that, you should be good. Alright. Got it. Unnatural. If only every government employee were as devoted as you, cleric, he gives you a stern expression. Good luck on your quest. His words burn a hole in your heart. When exploring, okay. Sure. Time to go.